Hello and welcome to the Scenic Route with me, Victoria Stewart, where we talk about roads less traveled, especially ones where we were on a certain path and all of a sudden have decided to deviate and go somewhere else. And a lot of times the adventure that we take in doing that takes us to places that are better than we could have ever imagined. So today I'm very excited to have Angela Gerber here, founder of the Marketing Apothecary and Chief Chemist and Systems Builder. Thank you for being here, Angela.
Yeah, of course, Victoria. Thank you for having me. I'm super happy to be here today. It's going to be fun.
Yes, very fun. So would you like to introduce yourself a little bit more thoroughly?
Yes, of course. It's funny, the apothecary thing. I remember when I started my business, people are like, I went to the bank and the girl was like, AP, wait, well, how do you spell that? So it's like,
such a good name. It's such a good name.
It's like not a common word, but that's why it's fun. That's why I wanted to use something like that because, it's really all about curating unique formulas that work for business owners. And, I absolutely love multi-passionate founders. I think they are totally magic, but that magic is often seen as fragmented and it's just scattered across too many things for people really to see the pattern. And that's when the world starts to read that as chaos and founders keep getting told to just pick one thing, fit in a box. And, I don't think it has to be that way. Fitting in boxes is boring. But you do need a system that actually organizes your brilliance in a way that clients get it and start working with you. And so that's where I come in. I build systems and I organize that chaos into coherence. So your fragmented brilliance really lives in one system that makes you magnetic, in demand. And the best part, you get to shine in your element. And that means all of your element and all of your expertise. You really get to show up as yourself and not the pieces that sometimes people see us in. So that's where I fit in.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's so funny. And I think I put this maybe in the post, I can't remember now, but that you introduced me to the word multi-passionate. And ever since then, I think it was like April or March, I can't even remember it. Now I'm like, almost every other person I meet is a multi-passionate person. And I'm like, this is so funny.
It's so fun. I mean, it's really interesting. It's like, I don't feel like we talk about it. And honestly, it's like, it wasn't even something I said or even I felt super familiar with, even though like it's very much who I am. Because like I said, I think so much of the business advice is like, pick a lane, fit in a box, like define yourself by your title, like your industry. Like we're constantly like putting ourselves in these sort of boxes and it just really limits what we do. And so I just think it took me my own journey to figure out what that meant. And it's really funny when I changed my messaging and I started talking about it, like I remember first saying it and I was like, multi-passionate? Like I was kind of like quietly whispering and I was like, does anyone get it? Like, do people know what I'm talking about? And it was like the coolest thing happened actually, because the more I said it and the louder I said it, like people were just like, oh my God, that's me. And they got super excited and they were like, yes, like I have a word. I like, that's me. And it was other people were like, wait, what does that mean? What do you mean when you say multi-passionate? And I was like, okay, well, that just might not be you. And that's totally fine. But I think the people that really like to do a lot of different things, or maybe they've just taken like a totally zigzagged career path that like made perfect sense in their head, but everyone else is looking at them going, what in the heck are you doing? This is a way to help us like just realize like that means that we're, in my opinion, magic. Like, I think when we can do lots of different things, we just have a really unique skill set and there's a layer in there that's truly ours. And I promise you it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, and even also it's like, because you've done like all these different things, when you integrate it all into whatever it is that you're doing now.
Right.
it's like, well, it's that much richer and deeper and stronger
Yeah,
and like you said, completely your
totally.
own, right?
Yeah.
Because nobody else is taking this path to get to whatever
Right.
it is that you're building.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. And it's hard because, I remember, my sister as a kid growing up, she was like, I'm going to be one of two things. And she is one of those things now. And I was like so jealous as a kid. I was like, why does she have it all figured out? Like, she's like,
Yeah.
this is what I'm doing. And here I am and I'm crushing it. And I was like, meanwhile, I was the kid that's like, I'm going to be a shark biologist. And then I was going to be a fashion designer. And then I was going to be an anesthesiologist. And like, here I am now. It's like, to me, I was always like, well, I want to do so many things. Like, how do I even just pick one?
Yeah.
But like I said, my parents were great. They were super supportive of all my like wild interests. But I really remember wrestling with that like internal dialogue of like, well, why has my sister got it figured out? And like, why does like the path forward seems really straight for her? Like,
Yeah.
what's like, is there something wrong? So for all of you other multi-passionate people out there, you are not broken. You are special. So we need to lean into that.
Yes. Yes. And normally I ask a question about the straight line of like where you saw yourself going when you were a kid, but it sounds like, and from what I know of you, it was never really a straight line. So would you like to share a little bit of your background that kind of has led you here?
Yeah, of course. Happy to share. And like, I kind of shared my big dreams as a kid. I carried those for a very long time. And even in college, I literally started off pre-med, and a semester later I was in art school like to be a fashion designer. And it was just something I really wrestled with. And I remember being in fashion design school and I was like a kid in a candy store. I was like, this is amazing. Like, I'm just like, I get to draw. I'm like creating. And like, I had this moment where I was like, whoa, this feels really easy. Like, should I be here? Like, should I be, like, maybe I don't need to go to school for this. Like, I just thought like I had to be super challenged. And if something was easy, then I must need to go do something harder. And, and and so, I was 19. So I did what you do when you're 19. I left.
Yeah.
And I went back to school for biology because I was like, okay, well, everyone else just picks something and figures it out. Like I'll just go figure it out. And there was a whole lot of back and forth until I remember my parents just saying, can you just finish school? Bless them. They were so supportive. But I also hit a point too where like, I remember the last time I tried to change my major and they were like, you're going to be here for 2 more years. And I went, ooh, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And so it just was a constant, but so here I was, I left art school, went back to college, got my degree, graduated, and was like, whoa, now what? Went traveling, trying to find myself, and then decided I wanted to live in Australia as you do. And I was like, I'm going to go there and do school. I'm going to go to advertising and I'm going to work at an ad agency or in a magazine. And I landed at BP. And so here I was constantly trying to do things a little bit different and just sort of like landing in these places that like felt like the right opportunity. And I mean, it was wonderful. It set me on such an interesting path, but I zigzagged even internally. I was in the fuels marketing department. I was doing branding. I got to do a really amazing like rebrand of their fuel signage and all like, and then the next thing you know, I'm in the project management office working on huge infrastructure projects, putting pipelines down residential streets and working with engineers and like, who would have thought this person in the marketing department suddenly is, in the project management office? But it's like, I found this like whole world of things. And so I think, being in that space, I was able to learn and grow and dream and zig and zag in sort of in that box. And it just became something I got stuck in. I think it's really easy to get stuck into the corporate world. And so, this little voice inside my head always said like, you want to have your own company, you want to have your own business. You know, my dad had his own business. Like, I just thought it was the most awesome thing in the whole world. And I was like, I want that. But I just couldn't quite figure out what it was. So, you know, after over 15 years in corporate, and at times in that corporate journey, like, I was allowed to be super entrepreneurial. I was allowed to like create new like divisions of sales and all these things. And, you know, I remember this like very distinct moment in my last corporate job when it was the pandemic.
Yeah.
And, you know, we just did things a certain way. But when the pandemic came, you know, we were selling glasses to eye doctors slash glasses to nobody. And so all the ways that we had sort of just kept getting confined, in my opinion, to work, everything went out the window because we had to come together as a team. There was no marketing team, sales team, product team. Like, we were everyone on board, like really needing to survive together. And we were super lucky because we sold protective eyewear and we could adapt even more of our eyewear to keep people safe. And so it just opened my eyes to this, like, you know, passion that I had sort of put away to like tell stories and build strategies and really focus on the people, because at the end of the day, the people and us being in the trenches with our customers and our eye doctors, like, was how we were going to get through it. And so it became just this magical journey. And it was great until it wasn't. You know, it was great until like, well, things started to go back to normal. And then things started to go back to like, this is how we do things, Angela. And like, yes, that was a good idea. We're going to put it on the shelf because this is what we're going to do now. And so it was just, you know, it was almost like I got let out of the box and then they were like stuffing me back in. And I mean this, you know, the company I was at was wonderful. I mean, I learned so many things, but I think it was, I had this realization that I was just sort of letting their boundaries sort of become a ceiling that was really limiting like what I could do. And so that was sort of the push that I was like, wow, I'm doing this. I'm starting my own business. And it was the push I needed to leave. But, you know, I'll be honest, I left and I was like, wow, like, I know how to do the work, but whoa, I have to now do everything. And so, you know, I found myself kind of leaving the corporate box, and I fell straight into Shinier boxes of like, you know, oh, I'm a story brand guide, and oh, I'm a marketing, like, I'm a strategic advisor. And I just was like, you know, it's really hard to let go of that. You know, I always joke. I think I finally let go of my last piece of corporate luggage, because our identity really gets like caught up in that. And when I finally just started stepping into what was mine and stopped following everyone else's frameworks and stopped saying, oh, well, they've built a really successful business, like, and it works for them. So like, let me try that shoe on. And as soon as I realized I just needed to, for lack of a better word, design my own shoe, you know, here I am. So yeah, it's been a really interesting journey. And I think since I've stepped into where I am now, like, all these new and exciting things keep unfolding, and just like, it allows me to really like step back into that magic that's mine, that like that magic of being multi-passionate and helping others like really like do the same. So
yeah, that's so cool. And it's funny because I feel like for a lot of us, the COVID pandemic times was like a real eye opener, right? Because we all had to shift so fast and like keep things going. And then the like, no, now we're going back to exactly the way it was before. Was a hard thing to be like, but why? Right? Like, are you sure that that's the best idea? Right? And it was like, no, that's what we're doing. Right?
Like, it was really challenging because I was like, but we made such a difference. Like, look at the stories, like, look at the people, like, look at the impact, like, look what we were doing, you know? And it just was like, wah, 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 like back to the old way. And I can only imagine, like, I think there was a lot of whiplash, but It showed me what I needed to see. And I think I
Mm-hmm.
needed that push. I think I was in a place where I was admittedly probably less happy than I was willing to say out loud.
Yeah.
Um, and it just became like things were easy, right? Like every Friday I got a paycheck, like my health insurance was there, like, and, and,
Yeah.
you know, and at the same time, like I can really reflect on it now, like all my passions, all my creative hobbies, like those kind of went away too because I was like in the machine, And
Yeah.
so like once I started to remember that like there's something more exciting out there and it might be challenging and terrifying and amazing and all the things like it was very eye-opening.
Yeah. So you already mentioned that you left and you were trying to figure out,
Yeah,
like, what do you call yourself? What am I actually
totally.
doing? And you mentioned like having to let go of this idea that somebody else's framework is the thing that works for
Yeah,
you. So I'm
yeah,
curious if you would share, maybe, I don't know if there's like some learning that happened then that kind of helped shift you into what you're doing now, or some lessons you might have learned along the way that like could explain kind of your evolution from leaving your corporate
sure.
job and starting and like where you are now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was kind of like I was saying, we
Hmm.
leave and we were like, oh, well, I have this amazing idea. Like I was like, oh, well, I'm really good at marketing because I've done that for like well over 15 years, and
Yeah.
my favorite things to work on are storytelling and strategy. So like I will be a marketing person doing storytelling and strategy. The problem is I just sounded like everyone else that was
Yeah.
doing marketing, storytelling, and strategy. And I people's appetite and interest to talk about marketing quickly became like a really big barrier. And people don't, it's like the four-letter word in business, no one wants to talk about
Very.
marketing. Here I am like jumping up and down like, ooh, let's talk about your marketing and this, and they're like, "Brr," like no, Angela, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to spend money on that. I've been burned. And I was just like, wow, like
Hmm.
I guess it means so many things to so many people. Like they're sort of like stuck in it. And so, I sort of just found myself too, like I was saying, working in other people's frameworks and being very like, I don't know, traditional, I guess maybe would be the right
Hmm.
word in like my thought process and how I was working. And I was finding myself like being really disconnected from my clients. Like I am a people person. Like I
Yeah.
do my best work like when we're in the weeds together. But here I was like having these meetings and then going away and doing all this work and then giving this big presentation and hoping it worked. And I think that's the rub sometimes in the marketing space. Like people, we get really caught up in the things and these deliverables. And sometimes then it would feel to me like, we just did all this work. It's amazing. I'm handing you this like beautiful baby document and you're going to drop it the second I give it to you. And it's just like, I just kept thinking, why am I working in this manner? And why am I like going, well, this is a process and a system that works. And so I really like had almost like a bit of an identity crisis last year. I was like, who am I? Like, why am I,
Mm.
where is me in my business? Like, where's my unique lens? Like, where's my unique gift? Like, why am I just quiet about all these things? And so I really had to, like, it was a real epiphany, like mid last year, I would say. And if I'm being totally honest, like, I was like, I think I just need to give up. I mean, I don't like
Hmm.
love this. Like, I feel like there's so much more I could be doing. Like, I want to help people in a different way. Like, there's things that I'm doing that I see really work, and there's things that
Hmm.
I just don't think people need. And so I really just hit a wall, honestly. I mean, I was really wondering, like, do I give up and just get a job? Because that was way easier. Or do I like have the realization that it's my business and I'm a
Hmm.
creator and I can create something that's mine? And so I really had to do a lot of like deep work. I got a coach, which I wasn't intending to get a coach at all. Like he appeared when I needed him most. And I think, in business, I'm a learner, like I'm super curious. And so I was like, I'm joining groups and I'm getting masterminds and I'm getting other people's processes. And I finally was like, I don't need someone else's stuff in my business. I need someone walking alongside me, like, and holding up a mirror to myself and helping me see those things that I just couldn't put words to. And, he just got me talking and flowing. And like, I mean, my business just came straight out of me, but I couldn't have done that alone. And so I think, one of the things I would just encourage someone to do is like, don't just go into your business and be like, here's what I'm really good at. And I just have this idea and I'm good at this thing and I'm going to go do it. Like, take the time to do the work on yourself first, like invest in yourself. Like I have made many investments in myself that were terrifying. I was like, how am I going to pay for this? And I can tell you every single one of those has paid off. Like, it is invaluable to have someone walking alongside you, like leveraging people who can unlock the things that you can't do for yourself, like leaning into experts. And, that is how I got here. And it was a huge unlock. And it was something I was so busy trying to get other things that I didn't realize the thing that I needed to work on most was myself and like how I really wanted to show up and what I could truly do and what my business could look like. And that's when everything shifted, when I stopped thinking about just the services I was good at and the tactical things I could do. And I really went back to like, what can I do that's really unique and how do I best serve people? And like, I don't go away and do big, heavy projects and shiny presentations anymore. Like I said, I'm in the weeds with my clients and like, that's where the magic happens. And that's where like the momentum gets created and the work that we do is no longer a paperweight on your desk. It's real and it's in your business. And like, we did it together. So, yeah.
I think there's two things that you mentioned that I will just pull out just because I think it's important for anybody who's starting something new, because I did the same thing, right? Like, is group programs, this, that, like there's a reason to do those so that you start to understand things, but trying to implement somebody else's thing without keeping in mind, does this work for me or not?
Right.
And like allowing it to become something else that serves you can be very difficult.
Extremely.
And we all want to do everything ourselves for some reason.
Totally.
Early new entrepreneurs,
do everything for myself, but
like, I can do this just as well as anybody else.
Surely I can figure this out.
I can figure this out. And then you're walking alongside with this coach and also calling in people to help you with things that maybe you aren't the one who should be doing it.
Totally.
Right. There's a reason there's people who just design websites and there's a reason people do this. And right. Like, you don't have to be the person who does all the things in your business.
Right. Right.
And that's, I think, something we forget. Like, I'm starting, so I must do all the things because the business is new. But you can look at you can set yourself up differently. Yeah. If you consider that.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a time and a place to be scrappy, like 1000%. Like sometimes you just got to like, try and get it out there and do the reps. And there's a time when like, as business owners, like we have to say like, am I all in? Like, is this what I am going to do no matter what? And I am going to make this work. And when you're ready to do that, like taking the leap and investing in someone else's like guidance and expertise that can really help you unlock something. Like I said, it's it's the thing we hesitate to do the most, I think, as business owners. And it's the thing that can move the needle the fastest on our business.
Yeah. 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 Totally.
For those people listening, like, do the big scary investment, like ask for help, like
Yeah.
spend some time, like I said, working on yourself, like, and think deeply about like how you want to serve people and like how you want to work with people and like what transformation you really want to bring, and put the services like to the side for a minute. And that's going to just put you on a very different path for what you can really do in your business.
Yeah. So speaking of which, is there anything that you are currently building in the business or that you're really excited about that you would love to talk about?
Yes, I am actually super excited about something. So thank you for asking. You know, it's something I'm just really excited about to share today. And I've been thinking of versions of this probably all year, but I feel like I finally landed on the version that's really where I need to be, and how I can really just work with business owners and really just change the trajectory of like where they're at. So I'm super excited. I'm launching something brand new. It's called the In Your Element Circle, and we are kicking off in September. It is for 6 founders, and we are going to spend 4 months together, really in a closed circle, again, of multi-passionate people, who know that they have real range. They're genuinely good at lots of things. But again, there are those founders that are like, well, I edit myself depending on the room, and I spend lots of time in rooms, and I do all these things. And I guess people tell me to pick a lane, and I just keep going. But they're those fragmented founders who really need a way to become like more coherent. And it's for those founders who really are ready to organize their range and step into their true magic and stop hiding it, stop fragmenting, stop doing all those things. And so this is really, very different than just a group program where you're going to get tools and things. It's really a circle. We're coming together. We're working together twice a month as a group. There's lots of momentum. And, there's one-on-one time with me as well, because again, the things that we create need to start to have momentum and traction in your business. Like I don't want people coming to this circle leaving with like endless amounts of homework and things that they never got to. Like this is really a system that is going to unlock something in your business. And, we work through 3 things. The first one is positioning. Obviously, we've got to find the words to talk about what we do. And if you can't connect the dots on your expertise, I'm telling you, you have a superpower, and it is in there, and we will find it. We'll find your connective thread. And so you don't have to worry anymore about having 10 different stories. Like you're going to have the story that's uniquely yours and really highlights the value you can bring to your clients. Then we'll work through like your visibility. How do you be more magnetic? Where do you need to show up? When do you need to show up? How do you amplify your work? So we really work through that visibility piece. And then lastly, we work through an execution rhythm, because again, we need an action plan. We like to do a zillion things, so it's easy to focus on the things that maybe don't move the needle in my business. And so together we'll make an action plan for your business and a rhythm that you can actually, like, it aligns with sort of who you are. And so it's really working through those things. And the 4th month is all about integration and just making sure it works. Like, are we tweaking? Are we changing? Are we shifting? Like, again, this program is really designed to create momentum, not just homework. So, at the end of the 4 months, you're going to come in and feel like a very different founder. You're going to know exactly what to say to draw in your ideal client. You're going to know that when you're visible and you're showing up, you're in the right room. And like I said, you're going to just have that clarity of focus, because that's what really makes a difference. Like when we're in alignment with ourselves, when we're magnetic to our clients, when we're visible, when we're focused, like that's that power. Like that's when we really step into our element as business owners. And that's the system that I really want to work with people on. And so, if this sounds like you, if you're a founder and you're multi-passionate and you are like ready to step into the next level of your business, like that there's power in what you do and how you do it, but you just haven't found a way to sort of systematize that and make sure that your dream clients see all of you. This is for you. So I'm super excited. This is something I've just, yeah, I can't wait to just bring a group of founders together. I think there's just something really special when we bring multi-passionate people together and we just feel seen and energized, and like there's really an energetic shift that can happen, when you're in this room together. And I've just seen some really powerful transformations with my clients. And like, I just really want to bring that to a group because I think that can create something really powerful together.
Yeah, I really love what you said about the rhythm piece, like the execution rhythm, because I think we're all like, usually like you get this idea, I have to do this,
Totally.
this every week. I have to do this, and it's, you can, if it's outside of alignment with your energy, who you are, you burn yourself out, right? Because you're trying to do what somebody else said, going back to kind of somebody else's framework or what we have decided in our minds. And then that the fourth month is integration, where you're like, okay, what do we tweak? Is what's working? That's really cool, right? It comes back to like curiosity and let's tweak your chemistry of your formulation.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Because again, we need to make sure it's working, and there may be things that we need to tweak along the way. And that's why we want to keep working together, because like you can have me walking alongside you going, hey, let's tweak this, let's try this. So just, again, you don't have to like go it alone. Because again, I think that's something else that we run into a lot. And the rhythm piece is so important, as you said, because there's something else that we can get really disconnected with quickly in our business, and that's our people. The people and our clients and our dream clients is where we need to be focused. And when it's not that we forget about them, it's just we get so busy doing all the other things, and like suddenly like the people fall off our list. And so, that's the other thing that we really need to focus on is like to your comment, like, are we showing up? Are we in alignment with ourselves? And are we making the right decisions every day that are closest to our people and our momentum? And I think that's the other shift that's really, really important as well. So it's not just a to-do list. It's the list that's in alignment with you and in alignment with really drawing you to your dream clients, because that's what we're here, right? It's great great to just do the work, but we want to get results and have our dream business. So this is really designed to help you unlock that.
Yeah, I love that, because you can get so wrapped up into the businessing of the business that you like pull yourself like you're like, who, what am I doing? Who am I helping?
Totally.
It's like I've spent all this time doing all this. It's businessing stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've all been in the weeds, so it happens.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't say that I've never done that, because that would not be true, but
exactly. One quick question.
Sure.
For people who maybe haven't heard multi-passionate, like, what are there some things that you have noticed when people find you and come to you are like signifiers that maybe they are? Like, I know that niching is like a thing that everybody like not really everybody, but like it's a very common thing to talk about when you're like in a business coaching program or anything like that. Is there, and like for, I would imagine multi-passionate, that's like practically impossible. Like it might be such a question, an impossible question. Are there any other kind of like red flags or like a little like, hey, maybe you would want to work with Angela because you are a multi-passionate person.
Yeah, I would say a few things. It's definitely the niche advice. Trust me, I thought I was going to be a marketer for attorneys, and I was like, I remember thinking, like, is this it? Like, and I've worked with some amazing attorneys and I adore them, but it literally felt like I was like, is that all? Like, okay. And so, if you've wrestled with that niching advice and you've just like had this severe allergic reaction like I did, and it just felt like you were just, that was not it. If you're the type of person who's like, when someone's like, our favorite networking question, like, what do you do? And they're like, well, I do lots of things. Like, if you're that person that their answer is like, I do lots of things. If you're the type of person that has a different story depending on what room you're in, again, those are those kind of multi-passionate people. If you're the person who spends a whole lot of time in a zillion different rooms, you tend to raise your hand for everything. You're like, you're on the board, you're volunteering, like you're running a club, like you're doing this, like, or you've got your main business and then you've got a side hustle and then you've got your pet project. Like, these are sort of those signifiers that, you're multi-passionate, and you're my people. And I promise you there's a way to organize your expertise. It's in there. All your zigs and zags, there's a reason and there's a way to make them make sense. So
that's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
And if this is resonating with somebody, how do they find you? Where do you want them to go?
Yeah, you can go to my website. So my website's just themarketingapothecary.com. If you are curious about the circle, I would absolutely love to have a conversation with you, because I'm telling you, together we can really unlock something powerful in your business. So you can apply for the circle on my website. I also spend probably a little too much time on LinkedIn. So just, Angela Gerber, you can find me on LinkedIn. So those are just the easiest ways to find me.
Beautiful. And we'll put all of those links in the show notes. And for those watching on the live, we can put them in the comments. And thank you so much, Angela, for sharing your journey and how you've come to this place and teaching us all about being a multi-passionate and how that's like a superpower, not like something to be avoided.
No, don't avoid it. Step into it. I'm telling you, it's fun.
Yes. And everybody, please go visit Angela's website and check out the circle and her LinkedIn. She has really great content. Every once in a while, I read one and I'm just like, and I think about it and get a really big aha, and I'm like, percolate on it for weeks. So it's
that's awesome.
It's awesome. So
well, thank you.
Thank you for being here, and thanks everybody who's watched. And if you like this show, please rate, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Thanks, Victoria.